It's a HARDIE High Five. Parenting and family.
It's spooky season, and we know that can be a challenge for young families. I remember one year when Jake was about 10, we decided to go to a friend's house because they had put together a haunted house. Well, the first room we walked in was a butcher holding a bloody knife and wearing a pig head. Jake saw this, he turned around, he ran down the street a block, jumped onto the top of the hood of our car and would not get down. And he hates pigs to this day. So I think maybe we made a bad parenting decision there.
I mean, that does happen.
Yeah.
But one of the things we learned from that is that we kind of wanted to be in control of Halloween from that point on. So we ended up having our own haunted house on our own porch. And we included our kids in the situation. So, I mean, we all dressed up as certain characters, and we came up with a little secret word where when little kids would come up on the porch, we knew to not be so scary, and then bigger kids would come up on the porch, we could be a little more scary. Our kids were totally in on this with us. It was so great. And we didn't have to worry about what they were going to see when they were out roaming the streets. So, happy not so scary Halloween.
Marriage and relationships.
I love the holidays because I love your parents cooking.
Wait a minute, does that mean you don't like my cooking?
Has this ever happened to you? You say something and it's taken wrong by the other person, and then you end up with this, a face that seems very angry right now.
And this, a face that looks like he's sleeping on a couch tonight.
In our household, we call this feelings versus reality. And it means we need to dig a little deeper to see what the other person meant when they said something. So now let's rewind and try this again. I love your parents cooking and I can't wait for the holidays.
Okay, babe, when you said that, I heard that you didn't really like my cooking. Is that what you meant?
No, babe. I love your cooking, but it's really special when your parents come for the holidays and they cook for us too.
That's great. And sometimes it's important that you ask for clarification on feelings versus reality.
And that way no one has to sleep on the couch.
Travel the world.
As we enter into the holidays, you might be taking a lot of road trips. So I'm going to tell you a fun thing we like to do. Whenever you're going to be on a road trip and you know like in 3 hours you're going to be ready for lunch or dinner, we look on TripAdvisor to see where we're going to be and what the cool place in that town is to see. Like, where do the locals eat? That's what we want to know. Example of this would be like we drove through Kansas one time. Now you might be thinking, what hot restaurants are in Kansas? Well, in Salina, Kansas, there's a restaurant called The Cozy Inn. Best burgers ever. It's actually just an outdoor seating area with the great burgers off of a good old-fashioned grill. It was great, but we would have never known that had we not searched ahead. We would have ended up at McDonald's, and who wants to do that? So make sure you use TripAdvisor to your advantage on your next road trip.
News and current events.
Guys, this is really scary. I had a client come in this week who told me about a friend of hers grandson calling her from Mexico saying that he had gotten in some trouble and that he needed some money to get out of jail. This is an AI scam. They only need 3 seconds of audio to clone your voice to make it sound like you're calling a loved one and asking them for money. And they can really take advantage of this situation. So one thing our family is going to do is we're going to come up with a safe word. And we're going to give it to my parents, especially anybody that they might call and ask for money. So I want to make sure we're all protected in this situation. You guys need to be aware of this crazy scam that's happening, and how are you going to combat it? It's worth a conversation.
Sports and entertainment.
The other day I was working in Vegas, so I check into my hotel, go up to my room, get all my stuff situated, and then I decided to open the blinds to see what was going on in Vegas. And when I did, a giant eyeball was staring back at me. And I'm like, what in the world is this? Well, it's the new MSG Sphere. This is an 18,000 seat event center that's 366 feet tall and 516 feet wide. It has over 1 million hockey puck sized LED lights, 160,000 speakers for sound, and vibrating seats and a wind machine that makes you feel like you're right in the middle of the action. U2 just opened it up on September 29th, and I know now the next time I go to Vegas, I'm getting on StubHub because I want to experience this new ninth wonder of the world.